Picture this: a farmer a century ago standing in the chill of autumn with nothing more than a rake and the ashes from his wood stove. No plastic bags of fertilizer lined the barn, no synthetic boosters to dump into tired ground, yet by the next season, his fields would erupt with rich harvests year after year. How? His secret wasn't expensive or complicated. It was a mix of two things every homestead produced in abundance: fallen leaves and wood ash. This wasn't superstition. It was practice born of necessity. Generations of farmers leaned on this method because it worked, feeding crops, balancing soil, and keeping fertility strong without ever stepping into a store. And what's remarkable is this old trick still works better than most of the fertilizers we rely on today. When used correctly, the ash and leaf mix does something modern inputs rarely achieve: it restores soil instead of depleting it. Before chemical fertilizers reshaped farming in the 20th century, fertility came directly from what the land itself provided. Wood was burned daily for heat and cooking, leaving a steady supply of ash. Trees shed their leaves in autumn, dropping layers of organic matter that would otherwise take years to break down. Farmers learned that by marrying these two resources, they created a complete amendment that gave immediate and lasting benefits. Ash supplied minerals, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and a spectrum of trace elements that crops crave and soils often lack. Leaves supplied carbon and organic matter which fueled microbial activity and improved soil texture. Together they created balance. Ash alone could make soil too alkaline and leach away, but leaves anchored it, releasing nutrients slowly and buffering extremes. Farmers noticed the difference immediately. Where they spread the mix, soils stayed friable instead of crusting. Crops resisted pests more easily. Yields rose without the crash and burn effect of quick nutrient dumps. It was fertility in harmony, not just fertility in haste. When looking at the ash and leaf mix with modern soil science, the genius of the practice becomes even clearer. Wood ash contains potassium carbonate, a form of potash, which is one of the 3 primary nutrients plants require. Potassium strengthens plant tissue, improves water regulation, and boosts flowering and fruiting. Ash is also highly alkaline, meaning it can raise the pH of acidic soils. This matters because too much acidity locks away nutrients, making them unavailable to roots. By correcting soil pH, ash essentially unlocks the pantry that's already there. Leaves, on the other hand, provide the carbon-rich base microbes depend on. As fungi and bacteria decompose leaves, they form humus, the dark, spongy substance that improves soil structure. Humus holds water like a sponge, keeps air circulating through the ground, and provides a slow-release bank of nutrients. The real magic happens when the two interact. The alkaline ash is buffered by the carbon in the leaves, preventing soil shock. The minerals bind to decomposing leaf matter instead of washing away. Microbes thrive in this balance, breaking down the organic material while cycling the minerals into plant-available forms. What results is not just a fertilizer but a living soil amendment that reshapes the entire ecosystem underground. Reintroducing this method to your own garden is simple, but it benefits from care and patience. Start with leaves, preferably gathered in autumn. While any type works, tree leaves from hardwoods often provide the richest mineral profile once broken down. Pile them in a corner or build a bin where they can decompose slowly. Next, add wood ash. Only use ash from untreated natural wood. Never charcoal briquettes, glossy paper, or painted lumber. Sprinkle the ash through the leaf pile in thin layers as you build it, moistening the pile lightly so the ash doesn't blow away. Over time, worms and microbes will do the blending work for you. After a few weeks to a few months, you'll see the transformation. The pile darkens, the sharp smell fades, and it begins to resemble rich forest floor soil. At this stage, it can be applied directly to garden beds. Spread it thinly over vegetable rows or around fruit trees. For heavy feeders like tomatoes, peppers, or squash, a layer in early spring can set the stage for vigorous growth. Moderation is key. Because wood ash is powerful, small amounts are better than over-application. When combined with leaves, the risk of imbalance is reduced, but steady additions over seasons yield the best results. The difference this mix makes is both visible and invisible. Above ground, plants respond with thicker stems, greener leaves, and more resilient growth. Root vegetables develop stronger flavor as they absorb calcium and potassium. Fruiting crops set blossoms more reliably and resist issues like blossom end rot, which is often tied to calcium deficiencies. Below the surface, the benefits run deeper. Soil structure becomes looser and more crumbly, inviting worms and beneficial fungi. Moisture retention improves, meaning gardens withstand dry spells without as much stress. Because the ash-leaf mix doesn't deliver a single nutrient in isolation, but a balanced blend, it encourages steady growth instead of sudden spurts that fade quickly. Over several seasons, the results compound. Gardeners who rely on this practice often find they need fewer outside amendments each year. The soil begins to stand on its own legs, so to speak, because it has been rebuilt into a living system rather than a lifeless medium fed by constant inputs. It's tempting to believe that modern store-bought fertilizer must be superior. It's formulated, concentrated, and targeted. But here's the thing. Fertilizer has one weakness. It's designed for quick, measurable results. It pushes growth fast, without investing in the soil's long-term health. That's why gardens fed only by synthetics often decline over time, requiring more fertilizer with each season. Now the ash and leaf mix works differently. It's slow, steady, and cumulative. It doesn't just deliver nutrients, it improves structure, balances acidity, builds microbial life, and retains moisture. It's not a boost, it's a foundation. And when soil has a strong foundation, plants are naturally healthier and more resistant to stress, meaning fewer pest and disease problems follow. This is why the method was never abandoned by farmers out of choice. It was pushed aside when fertilizers became cheap, fast, and easy. Yet for gardeners who want lasting fertility without dependency, it remains one of the most effective solutions. Reviving this forgotten method is more than just a gardening trick. It's reclaiming a piece of wisdom that ties us to generations before us. Those who came before understood that soil wasn't a resource to be exploited, but a partner to be cared for. By returning leaves and ash to the earth, they maintained that partnership and reaped abundance season after season. Today, when sustainability and resilience matter more than ever, this method is perfectly suited for the home garden. It costs nothing, wastes nothing, and transforms soil from the inside out. The longer you practice it, the more your soil begins to mirror the richness of natural forest floors, where fertility sustains itself without outside help. If you've been chasing results with expensive bags of fertilizer, try stepping back into this older, wiser practice. Gather your leaves, save your ash, and combine them into the mix that farmers once called their greatest ally. Watch as your soil grows darker, richer, and more alive with each season. This is not just a way to grow better crops, it's a way to break free from dependency and trust in the cycles nature has always offered us. For more timeless soil building methods like this, make sure you subscribe to HydroHaven and share this video with fellow gardeners. Together, we can keep these old secrets alive and restore our soils to the living, fertile ground they were always meant to be.